We've gone over a lot of games. We've gone over some songs, some music ideas, crafts, all kinds of stuff. And today we're going to talk about just kind of the struggle everybody's facing and how to overcome some of the struggle that's all going on. So today might not be specific, go play this, go get this, but we're just going to chat. And we're going to chat with my very, very good friend, co-presenter when we go out on the road together, and someone I've met through this awesome world of education. She does a phenomenal job in her new position. So please welcome to the show my good friend, Jessica Travis. How are you?
Hey guys, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. So I said teacher, new role, friend, presenter. You've worn many hats, but you've taught kindergarten, you've taught first grade. Have you taught other grades?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. And now you are, I'm going to let you tell what you do because I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, it's a mouthful, but I mainly focus with literacy with early childhood in my district. So I write curriculum, I support teachers that are teaching pre-K and kindergarten within the classroom. So, I mean, I'm still in there with students and I get to borrow their students and teach lessons and plan and still be supportive. So I'm loving it. Yeah.
Awesome. So you've seen this on a whole different perspective, everything that's going on with COVID and the quarantines, because you're not teaching students day in and day out like teachers are remotely. But you said before we started recording this that you're working with teachers day in and day out to help support them. So let's and briefly talk about like what kind of struggles have teachers been seeing in your area. I know it's different everywhere, from technology to just the simple act of communication can be struggle sometimes when we're remotely learning, but have there been specific struggles your teachers have found and have overcome?
Yeah, and I think it depends on the district that you teach in, as well as the grade that you teach, the school that you're at. Me specifically working with early childhood, so I'm with 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. And so when we originally had this idea of, hey, we're going to online learning, I was like, how in the world is this going to work with 4, 5, and 6-year-olds that never do online learning necessarily in the classroom? I mean, it's very hands-on, very teacher interactive. And so that was one of the original struggles that we faced, was how is this going to look for our early childhood students? And let me just tell you that our teachers are rock stars.
Awesome.
Like they just, I mean, which I've seen nationwide, if you've been online and just hearing stories. I mean, they are rocking and rolling. But I think the very first struggle that we all came with is how are we going to get all of our students with a device so that they can do this online learning? Because we know our students don't have access to this or have access to Wi-Fi or technology.
Right.
And so that was really our first obstacle to overcome, is how are we going to get this instruction in the hands of all of our students? Which I don't think anywhere you're going to have 100% that students can have access to that.
Right.
So making sure our students had devices. So our district was awesome and rolled out procedures where students can come and pick up a device so that there was one in their house to complete coursework. But again, it's not 100%. So just this past week, we started sending home packets so that parents could come pick up supplies, materials, learning instruction, just so that they could still be a part of learning while we're in this new uncharted territory.
It's crazy, isn't it? Like uncharted is a good word. I don't think anybody, I mean, I know people have homeschooled, like that happens. That's always been a thing, but this is a whole different world. Like parents who have never taught before are now working as teachers at home, and uncharted is a good word. It's crazy. So have you seen good feedback from those packets then too? Kids that can't use technology or don't have access?
Yeah, today was the first day we're implementing it. So
okay.
I don't have necessarily feedback I can give you just yet. And it was a very small number of students, that didn't have access to a device or technology. So we'll see how that goes after this week, hopefully. But I can personally say, like, even, and you might agree with this, but even as a teacher, I'm like, this is going to be fine. I can support my kids. I've been a teacher. I know how to do this, but it's completely different. So, I mean, if you've never homeschooled, and even in this format, this complete digital online world, I mean, it's very different for us, for our kids. And I mean, that you talk about struggles, that's definitely a struggle we've had to work through, is with 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. They're not doing this independently. So we do have to rely on support from their parents and guardians in their house, that we know it's going to take their time as well, to help support this instructional process. So,
yeah,
I mean, there hasn't been a lot of negativity. It's been a very positive experience so far. We're in week 4 here. So
Yeah, it's been pretty positive here too. And I think what you mentioned about seeing teachers all over the country, and you see it all over social media, that the positivity that's surrounding this is amazing to see. And from the teacher, from the parent, from celebrities who are praising teachers, from everyone. But it's funny you mentioned the like being at home with your own kids too. I know being at home with my two. My daughter is kind of doing on her own. She's junior high, so she hasn't really needed help from us other than simple questions that she would typically have with homework. But our son is in third grade, and trying to be teacher dad and dad teacher has been a whole different world for me. Like
it's a whole different ballgame.
oh my God. It's kind of
Yeah.
like coaching. Like I never want to coach my own kids because I want to be a dad, right? Like and they listen to
Right.
other coaches better than they ever would me. And it's kind of funny because
Yeah.
I know they listen to their teachers so much better than they listen to me when I'm trying to help them with work.
I'm sure I've said, do you do this at school? At least 20 times a day. No, we're not doing that here. So, but yeah,
well,
I mean,
one of the things I love about being on the road with you and seeing you present or your ideas that you share with teachers when we do get to be out at conferences are so easy to implement in the classroom. So I know we didn't really prep anything for this. I just wanted to chat with you because you're in such a different role. But do you have anything off the top of your head or ideas that you could easily share with teachers to send home or parents who might be watching this that can easily reteach some of those skills that you're so good at presenting when you do go out?
right. I think the main thing is we have to understand the kids are not in a typical classroom right now. They don't have you for support. They don't have this master teacher that's there to answer questions and fill in gaps and have clear expectations. It's completely different. And so one of the things I can say is go day by day. You don't need to have this strict schedule of all these hours of coursework that you need to complete. Most parents are also working from home.
Mm-hmm.
So they're having to not only set their own schedule to work, but now they're having to fit in their kids' online schooling. And so I know with me personally, like I'm still working full time. Both of my kids need the same device. So we're having to like kind of switch off. But I think my biggest thing is just take breaks. Don't expect
Mm-hmm.
too much. And I know I tell my kids, go outside and play because they're so used to having PE and lunch with their friends and transitional times and whole group and small group instruction. And they need breaks. When you think about it, they're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. And I heard a great tip one time. If you take a student's age and you add the number 2, that's the maximum amount of minutes that they're truly focused. So if you have, a 6-year-old at home, you're looking maybe 8 to 10 minutes that they're focused. So if you're sitting there and getting frustrated, completing assignments at home, walk away, step away. You have that luxury now at home. It
Right.
doesn't have to be done in this 30 minutes. You have all the time that you need to get it done. That's coming from like a parent and kids point of view. From a teacher's point of view, keep it simple. You're not in the classroom to give direct instruction. Don't, give 45, 60, 90 minutes of coursework and expect students to be successful with it. It's just not going to happen now. And we have to make that our new normal. We have to understand that. And I think if teachers understand, if we keep it simple and realistic for our kids, it's going to be better for all of us.
Yeah, simple is the best way to say it. I love that. I know my wife Trisha had a call, they had a whole faculty Zoom call last week to kind of review everything that's going on because Illinois is kind of on the brink right now of, are we canceling the whole year? Are we going back in May? Right now, April 30th is the end date of stay at home or stay in shelter in place orders, but I think that's going to be extended. But our administrator, her principal said the exact same thing. He's like, we cannot expect kids to be doing what we expect in the classroom. And I think what you just said is so important to remember, but difficult sometimes. And I think it's different for me because I work from home when I'm not out on the road. So I kind of forget that parents are working at home right now. Like I'm still working as much as I can, but I don't have a full-time job that I'm required to do. So I'm able to help my kids. But as teachers, we need to remember that there are parents who, some are still going to work and having to deal with kids who are at home. And some are working, 9 hours a day at home for their full-time job. So piling on coursework is the last thing we need to be doing right now. And her principal spoke very highly about like student self-care. We need to be remembering that not only do we need to remember self-care for us, but we got to take care of these little ones. Remember that they are just kids who are adapting not just to this new lifestyle of school, but this fear of what's going on in the world around them, because they're hearing it all on the news right now and they're seeing the numbers, and parents, whether they're doing it deliberately or not, are talking about what's going on in the world. And that's scary for little ones. So I think it's important
yeah.
what you just said is take it slow and keep it simple. That's perfect.
And like you said, parents that are working from home, it's not just maybe one kid that they're having to, support with online instruction. There might be 2, 3, 4 kids,
right,
that they're having to really work through. And so it's just a new time for everyone. And when you think, I know you in the kindergarten classroom, it didn't take 1 week and everything was already, perfectly routine and structured and organized. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thinking about parents that have never done this before at home with their kids now, it's, you're not going to have this down perfect in a week, maybe not even 2 or 3 weeks. So give yourself some grace, take self-care for you too. I mean, not just your kids, but reach out. There's so many platforms and teachers and adults out there that are supportive and can answer questions and help you through this process. So, I mean, reach out. Don't feel like you have to do this alone. And I mean, day by day, eventually this will pass, but this is our new normal and we just kind of have to embrace it and go for it.
All right. Well, I appreciate this. It's nice to hear. Like I said, we've had a lot of games and crafts and music and stuff, but it's nice to hear from someone who's kind of on the, I know you don't consider yourself an administrator, but you're kind of in that role, helping teachers help other teachers. So you've been an awesome coach and influence of me. I know when we're on the road together, I love sitting in your sessions and hearing your ideas. So it's nice to hear that everybody, here's the easiest way to say this. It's nice to hear that everybody's struggling. Like nobody's doing this perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
If you think someone is and you see it on social media, just remember that's an image or a video. No one has this down yet. And we need to remember that we are all in this together. I know that's the big hashtag that's going around, but there's also another one going around that we're better together. And I think the more teachers connect and keep networking the way we are for all of this, the better, because we are all struggling. We are all learning as we go. No one has been in this position before, unless you're an online teacher or a virtual teacher, which please reach out to us because we can use all the help we get, but just continue doing what you're doing. I think you guys that are listening, what Jessica says it best. Take it slow and keep it simple. And those are the easiest things we can do right now. So if you guys want more from my amazing friend here, jessicatravisteaching.com is where you need to go. Amazing friend, presenter. And you wrote a review of my book, which is out now.
Because you're an amazing author. Yes, hey, congratulations. Very excited for that. Yeah.
It's a bit surreal. Like it's crazy. When I saw Dave sent me that picture today and said #1 new release on Amazon, I was like, wait, that's good, right? Like that means something.
Yes.
It's crazy.
I mean, I mean, I'm going to say this, even in this world right now that we're in with like the digital learning, there are ideas and things that you can take from your book for this space that we're in now. It's not just for your classroom. There's so many things in there that teachers could utilize now and share with parents and students at home just to keep that engagement going at home. So yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
Thank you so much. We're trying to push it that way that it is, because it's full of ideas for parents. But thank you for all you're doing to help not just your own kids at home, but teachers and students, because your role is so important right now. So thank you again, listeners. Go visit jessicatravisteaching.com, and we'll see you soon, hopefully, my friend.
Hopefully. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.